I'm trying something a little bit different than I've ever really done before in the past. And I'm doing a live stream about products that I am intending to review on the channel. And part of my hope with this is to get feedback from the viewers of my channel to see what they want to know about these products, maybe if they're already using them, some things that they might have found. And also, I can answer some questions if I've used them a little bit ahead of all this stuff. So I think if you're looking for some information on some of these products, even before my review, you can ask me some questions. And if I don't have the answer yet, I'll be sure to include those in my review. So my goal here is really to try to help connect with the audience a little bit more and allow you to ask some questions and things. So that's the goal for the podcast today. I have a bunch of different things to talk about. I don't know how long this will go. It could be really short with me just talking about a few things that I'm going to review. If people jump into the chat and ask questions, that would be phenomenal. I would also add that if there are other reviews that I've done before, or there's videos on my channel and you have questions, this is a great time to submit those questions and I can talk about them here. Sometimes that's helpful for people to be able to do that. Most likely this first go around of this, there's not going to be a lot of people attending, but my hope is this will build a little bit over time and give me the ability to do something a little bit different on the channel. Sometimes there'll be interviews that happen, but maybe like once a quarter or something like that, as I kind of have a conglomeration of products that are either in review or are going to be reviewed. I can, talk a little bit about what's coming if I'm able to. There are sometimes when I can't do that, but a lot of times I can. So without further ado, let's talk about a few things that are coming on the channel at some point. And this one's kind of fun. So I know this may not apply to everybody in the world, but I think it could be kind of fun. And this is, let me just hit the share button here. So this is an Ego snowblower that I'm going to be reviewing on the channel once it snows. So I've got the how to put it together part of the video done at this point, but I decided to go ahead and purchase this. So this is something I bought with my own money for when we do get snow. Now we have had almost no snow here this year. It's been nuts in Utah that it's been as warm as it has been. We did have one snowstorm and I actually had purchased a snowblower, which you can see a little bit to the left side of this one, from a neighbor for like $50 or something like that. And it had started and worked really well in the summertime, but for whatever reason, it didn't want to start at the moment that I needed it. And I had wanted to get the electric version of the snowblower anyway. I've had some other Ego tools and I decided that I wanted to pick this up. So I'm going to be doing a review on the channel of this. So if you have some questions about the Ego, like the setup at least, I can talk about that a little bit. This one does have the steel auger. So that'll be pretty helpful for the times when I need to blow some snow. And we'll see how this goes once we get some snow and I can actually use it. But that one was kind of fun to kind of put together. And again, I'm not part of the Ego system. I guess I am. I owned a bunch of Ego products, all which I paid for myself. I've had the snowblower, or before this, I had owned a lawnmower, and I bought the lawnmower from Ego this summer again, but I'd owned it at a different property before, and I really liked it. So these are some tools I like. I've got the blower, just the blower, and then I've also got the trimmer as part of this. So the snow blower, the blower, the lawn mower, and the trimmer from Ego, and I really like the system a lot. But I'm curious what you guys have found. Do you like electric tools? Do you prefer the gas versions? There's a couple of reasons why I don't like the gas versions, but I'll talk about that more in the review unless people have specific questions. So that's kind of the first thing I want to talk about. This is coming at some point, but this is super weather dependent. I have no idea, none whatsoever, when I'm actually going to get to it, but we'll see. The next video I have for you here actually has a couple of different things in it. So one you've seen on the channel before, the camera that's on the front of my face, and that is the DJI Nano. And I really like that camera a lot. I'd be happy to talk more about it on the channel, but that's one of the products there. What you're seeing filming this at the moment is the brand new DJI Neo 2. It's pretty new, I guess. It's not brand new, but it came out this fall. This is one of the last drones that you're going to be able to get from DJI in the United States because it was released before the ban. And I had previously had just the Neo. I've had the Hover Air Pro Max. I have the Flip. I've also had the Mini 4 Pro. So I have had quite a few different drones, and I've been looking for kind of the right one. And this one might finally be the right one. It definitely did a nice job of tracking me. And I think you're able to manipulate where the camera or where the drone is a lot easier with this than anything else I've experienced before, because you can use your hand to do it. The tracking has been pretty good. And I've done a couple different videos so far with this, just to kind of you can see right there, moving it to a different spot. So it's in a little bit different angle there. And yeah, I'm liking this a lot. So I picked up the kit. You can get this as just the drone by itself, which is like, I think $350. And then you can get it with the battery kit, and you get the 3 batteries with it. And then it's a little bit more expensive. And this was a little bit over $500 for this, plus the batteries and the controller. But I'm definitely gonna be doing some reviews on that drone, and you'll probably see a lot more of this type of footage in my videos going forward, because it's a nice camera person that I can have that's hands-free and it follows me around, which is kind of cool too. But I was giving it a try here during this video that I made. Now, jumping into some other stuff. Again, if you have questions about these products that you're seeing on the screen or anything I've done before, just drop them in the chat. I really would love to answer your questions and interact with you as much as I can. Another thing you're seeing, or a couple things that you're seeing in this video as well, is something that's going to be on the channel very shortly, and this is the X-Foamer. And I had a great chat with the owner of the company of X-Foamer, Sam, the other day. I was pretty excited about that. I actually reached out and said, hey, do you mind if I review this? Because I really like these foamers for a number of different reasons. They're especially great for wheels and tires for sure, but they're also really pretty solid for things like winter washing, when you need to get a little bit of foam on the vehicle, but you're not going to take your whole setup out because it's too cold. And so I was just trying this out for the first time, just trying to get the feeling for foaming and that kind of thing. And I was actually very impressed with how it works and how quiet it is. And I'm going to be talking about this in the future and doing more of a deep dive video. But if there's something specific you want to know about this in that video, let me know. Or if you have any questions tonight that I can answer, I'm happy to do that as well. We've got somebody finally coming out and saying hello. So I'm going to go ahead and say hello to Chris. And thank you so much for joining, Chris. Appreciate it. Let me know if you have questions along the way. I'm happy to answer them for you. So X-Foamer's coming very shortly as a review on the channel. What's inside X-Foamer's also new for me. I've never tried it before. Something I've been really excited about trying, and this is from Detail Co. And it's their Loki Hybrid Wash. I'd never used it before. I know that you can use it as sort of a traditional wash. You can foam it. You can also use it as a rinseless. And so that's what this wash was. And this one will probably be live on the site this weekend, or on YouTube this weekend, of like a hybrid wash, using hybrid wash and a hybrid towel and so on and so forth, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But I was really impressed with Loki. It's a watermelony flavor. It smells amazing. And it does foam, which is great. And it also works really well as a rinseless. It was a little bit more sudsy or soapy, I would say, than a traditional rinseless was, but it all wiped clean at the end. After I did, so I foamed it, then I rinsed it. Then I put this on in a rinseless dilution of 256:1 to wash the vehicle this last weekend. So worked really well. I used a lot of the product doing it that way though. So it's just something to keep in mind if you're going to foam it and then use it again as rinseless. You'll use a decent amount of product doing it that way versus just a rinseless. But I was really impressed with this. Worked really well. So that's what you're seeing there. At the end, let me see if I can dig myself into this little thing here. This is something people have been wondering about a little bit. Put this off to the side. And this is a hybrid towel from the House of Rags. This is their weapon of mass drying. This is the large one. You can see it covers me up completely here. Hello. And super impressed by this, that they're getting the hybrid blend here, something that dries really, really well, but then also kind of wipes really well too, all in the same plane. It's a pretty interesting towel, and I've got all 3 sizes, so I'll give more opinions about that later on, but it worked really well. And I was pretty impressed by that. Got our first question though here from Chris. So let's see what Chris is asking. Got the carton foamer and IKE foamer. IK makes more foam. I think I'm more excited with a carton non-foaming sprayer. Yeah, so that is coming in the future as well. So just a regular sprayer that's going to, could be something like that as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I think the IKs can foam more, and it really just has a lot to do with which tips you use and which products you use. So like, I think there's a little bit more with all of these systems, because my SPTA sprayer like this, it's the same way. You kind of got to mess around a little bit more with the dilutions and get them right. That one, the SPTA especially, you really can't adjust it at all in terms of the foam that's coming out of it. This one, there's some ways to do that with the tips. And so I think that's pretty cool as well. But yeah, I mean, I always got good foam out of my IK sprayers. I don't have the e-foamer version of that, but I would agree that, the pump version always gave me good foam. SPTA has always given me good foam. But again, this is Loki, so I don't have anything to compare it against because I've never used Loki before. But I thought actually for what I was trying to do, this was the perfect amount of foam for that wash. So I did what I wanted it to do in that case. But yeah, it's a good point. A lot of these are on the market right now, and there's different reasons to buy different things. And this has got some unique features, removable battery handle, which is great because you can be charging one if you own a business. This is really a great foaming option, I think, for somebody who is in a detailing business. Not to say that's not great for the DIYer like myself either, but so far I'm pretty impressed with it. But I'm excited to try some different tips and different dilutions and different types of soaps in it as well, just to give some better thoughts. But thanks for sharing that, Chris. Appreciate it. Yeah, so that wash, those are the things you're going to see in there. I guess just to round out the House of Regs stuff here, let me set this off to the side a little bit. I also picked up recently a couple other things from them, and I got the Diva Rinseless 2s, so I'm going to be checking those out pretty soon. I love the Diva towels. These are some of my favorites, so the Diva Rinseless is a great size. Excited to try out V2 of this. Just haven't yet. I probably should have got the other color though, because my Diva 1s are the same colors as these, but I should have maybe alternated those so it's easier to tell, especially if I wanted to compare them on camera. But I'm excited to try these out. And as you can see what's in here, since this is video, but you can see these are a really good size for rinseless. I like this size quite a bit. You've got that sort of suede feeling edges, which soak up water really well. You can get those in between body panels, things like that. Super soft, good weight, and a good size. I like this a lot. But I've also got the other WMDs in the small and medium size, so I'm excited to try those and see what they are, differences are between them. They're, this is much heavier because it's bigger, but I think their weight's not too different between them. So it says here, this one's saying 1200 GSM, they're the same. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. Couple other things from the House of Regs then that I'm excited to try here in the future. I've got some Guardian tire dressing. I've never tried their tire dressing before, but it's interesting to always try these and just see how they, how they go on, what kind of look that they give your tire. Different tire dressings can be dramatically different, between super glossy to just a little satiny. And everybody has a different, I think, feeling for what they want a tire dressing to do. So I'm excited to try this one out and see what it's like, and just kind of go from there. I mean, I've used, before I got into other, like the DIY Detail and the Detail Co. and the Clean by Pan and so on and so forth, I was using a lot of stuff from Walmart, and that would leave good tire shine, but it often would be like, it would just be a magnet for dirt because it was just too thick. But it did look good. Where I think the ones that I've seen lately from Detail Co., Clean by Pan, DIY Detail, they go on a lot easier. They don't attract dirt and dust and things like that, which is nice. Maybe it's just my application and how I put it on too, but excited to try this one. We saw Loki. One other thing that I have to get with one of my neighbors on is trying some Infinity ceramic sealant and giving that a try. Again, I have a bunch of different ceramic sealants. I've liked all the ones that I've used, but it's always interesting to see how long the sealant lasts on a vehicle. And just durability wise, if you put it on, does it last for a month before you have to put it back on again? What kind of properties does it give your paint if you haven't done too much with it? That kind of thing too. So that's another thing that's coming from the detailing side of things. Got another question coming very shortly. It takes a little bit from the time that you actually ask it till it gets over here, but this is a great question. Do I have any garage renovations planned? And the answer is yes. So definitely going to be painting the garage once it warms back up. So we're going to be painting the garage, making that nice and white. I'm going to be putting in some new lighting in the garage and maybe doing some funky things with some lights there too, but just some regular lights. And I actually have some lights in the garage I'm starting to test out a little bit, but I haven't gotten far enough to where I want to put them. But they've definitely been adding some extra light to the garage when it's been darker in there or when I had to work inside during the winter. So I'm going to do some of that. I'm definitely planning on doing some kind of a mount system for my main pressure washer that I'm always going to have and feature or always be able to use whenever I want. So I think that's another one that we'll see at some point on the channel as far as installing that and which one I choose there. There's a couple different ones I'm kind of interested in that regard, and maybe some storage pieces too. I've actually thought a little bit about doing some of the paneling on the walls. I forget the name of the company that does them, but you can spray the wall and get it wet or whatever. But I think I'm just going to do paint because for the most part, I don't wash with my pressure washer in the garage. I don't usually need to do that, so I can do a rinseless in the garage. It's not too big of a deal. Other garage updates, I've got some feelers out to a few different companies on some things there too, so we'll see if those come to fruition or not. But since I don't know if they're coming or not, I don't want to talk about some of that stuff yet. But that's some of the plans for the garage. I might do something with some insulation on the door in the future as well, but haven't decided for sure. Trying to think anything else in the garage for sure that I want to do. I think those are the main things. I'll probably have to move some stuff around when I paint, and so we'll see where everything ends up with chemical-wise, that kind of stuff in storage. But we'll see. But that was a great question. Thanks for asking that. Since we're talking about things in the garage, the other thing, I guess, that I would be considering, or that I'll be doing some more stuff too, is going to be the truck this year. So I'm just going to pull this up for fun because it's kind of a fun video to watch, I think. Let's see here. Window, this one. There we go. So a couple things that now I guess the truck's not even on there, but a couple things that I'm planning on the truck. I've got some new tow hooks coming for the Tacoma. So that should be coming fairly soon, which will be kind of cool for the front, just giving a little splash color there. I'm also planning on, at some point this year, getting rid of the end of the exhaust and putting the trail exhaust system from Toyota on the truck. So that way I won't smash my exhaust on a rock or something like that, and just kind of tucking it up more underneath the frame a little bit. And they have a fairly inexpensive part you could just bolt on. So it should be a really easy installation, and it's not super expensive either. So I'm excited to do that. I'm considering some things in and around adding suspension, that kind of stuff to the truck. I'm not sure if we'll get there this year or not, but that could happen. I might also play a little bit with the setup of the couette rack on the back. I'm kind of missing being able to see out the back of my truck. So I'm trying to figure out if I want to maybe keep the side panels on, so that's lockable on the sides at least, and then maybe taking the front and the back panels off so that I can actually see through using my cameras or through the rearview mirror. That might be kind of interesting. It also would lower the tent down a little bit too, so it would get lighter, a little more aerodynamic, and be easier to see. So I might do that this year. We'll see, but we're definitely going to be doing quite a few overlanding trips. So I'm kind of excited about that. But those are some things there. And then we put the hood struts in recently on the Tacoma. That was super easy, and God, that was awesome. Really just an awesome upgrade to the Tacoma, just to be able to have the pneumatic hood struts. That was the gas operated hood struts. It was nice. So pretty excited for those, and really easy. Anybody can do that upgrade for sure. Let's see what else we got here. terms of just trying to stick with a little bit on the, here's one. So this will have to wait till the weather gets better because it's been in the 30 degree mark. So I don't really have a place to or time and space to do this at the moment because of the weather. But this is the Ascenix pressure washer. I got this for $71. And I'm interested to know what people want to know about these less expensive pressure washers. I will obviously put it through the normal tests that I've put the other ones through and compare it a little bit to the Ryobi, especially the Ryobi, because I think at $71, you can add a couple of accessories to this and make it a fantastic pressure washer. That's my hope anyway. But we're gonna find out and keep it right around that same price of like 150 to 200 bucks. But you have maybe a better setup than you would with our Ryobi. So kind of excited about that. We'll see what it puts out for power and whatnot. I'm not expecting obviously the foam cannon to be very good or anything like that in here, but just as a base pressure washer unit, not bad. So for 71 bucks, I thought it was worth a try. But I'd love to know what people want to know about pressure washers specifically. That's also helpful too, so that I spend time on the right things when I'm filming those, because it takes a lot of time and effort to do that stuff. So that's a couple things there. Let's see, do I have any other? This is actually a couple other things to share, things I have shot, but I haven't edited yet. And that would be, so I recently did a video on my 2023 Santa Fe that we sold and got a new vehicle since then. But one of the things I did back in the mid-summer, late summer, was I put on the Clean by Pan 8-year on the Hyundai Santa Fe. And I have the whole installation video and everything for that coming. But one question I have for people is, do you like seeing start to finish everything that happens? Or do you just want to know what steps were performed, and then do you want to know like how the coating was to apply? Did it leave any high spotting? That kind of thing, like the just general review and impressions of the installation pieces of it, maybe how it performed after it was applied, that kind of deal? Or do you like the hour-long video where you get to see, basically the entire, 8 to 11 hour process that I went through to do? I'm always curious where to spend my time on that, because those videos take a lot of time to make, and I'm not sure if people want the whole thing or if they just want, tell me how Pan's coating performed and how easy it was to apply. So leave me a comment on the video if you're watching this later on to let me know what you think of that. But this is what it looked like. I mean, it was incredible, the amount of shine on here, the amount of hydrophobics were awesome. I think I had one little high spot on the vehicle that was on the hood, but that was my fault. It wasn't Pan's fault at all. I think that was a fly you saw on the rear quarter panel there. I also didn't go crazy with polishing, so I could have gotten rid of some of the spider webbing in like the pillars there, and I just decided, this vehicle's got 75,000 miles. I think I'm going to trade it in. I don't really want to spend a ton of effort on it, but it looks really, really good. The windows obviously are all dirty on the inside, but I was pretty impressed with Pan's coating for sure. So that's a video that's coming soon, or at least at some point. You can let me know if you really want to see this video. I'll get it out earlier. So this is another opportunity for people to say, do this one first. So along with that, the other thing that I've been talking about a little bit is I traded my vehicle in, and I got this Kia Sportage. So I need to do my initial impressions review of this vehicle as well. I've got some of that shot, but not the whole thing yet. I've got about 2,000 miles on it now, and it's been great. I think it's going to be a really interesting review. I'm really interested to see what it's like long term as well. And I'm also going to go through a little bit of the buying experience that I had at Jerry Seiner Kia. There was good and bad there, and just kind of sharing some of that stuff. Mostly good though. It was really a pretty good experience overall. But why I chose this vehicle over the other ones that I drove and all that kind of stuff as well. Just trying to help people make a good decision for themselves on, if you're looking for a compact SUV, basically. So that'll be coming too. Along with that, though, I did put the DIY detail stack on here. So this is the 8-year and 3-year that you're seeing on the vehicle right now, or like after a wash, after I had done that. So I had a video about that and the application process there, and filmed that whole thing. And that was 2 days worth of like 11 hours. So again, it's like, where do people want, what do you want in the videos? I'm really, really curious about that. You want to see everything painstakingly done, or do you just want to say, oh, those were the steps you did? Anything that came up that was a problem, and then, or that worked well, that kind of thing, tips. And then what were the final results? How easy was it to apply? And how is it working? That's another, I can go that route too. And just curious what the audience wants to know. So beyond that, this was kind of a fun video I filmed, and this is the new vehicle, the Sport. As you can see, I got a heads-up display, and this is with not the 3-year, 8-year, the 8-year, 3-year stack. This actually is hydro glass, and I was trying to capture how it works. It just doesn't rain here very often, but I was like, oh, I finally can kind of show how it works. But it was pretty incredible just how well it pulls the water off on the freeway. Makes it really easy to see out of the windshield. It's a little bit hard to see, I think, in this image, streamed on the internet, but I've been pretty impressed with that. I have it on the Tacoma as well, and actually, we also use the Diamond Tech, the Diamond Glass on the Santa Fe, and that worked really, really well this summer too. So I don't know longevity wise, because we traded that vehicle in, but it worked really well when we had some rainstorms when I was traveling this summer. So I was pretty impressed with that too. But I thought I'd share that video out because I'm not sure where I would put this in otherwise, but it's a kind of a fun time to show that. Yeah, and then this is just, if you've never seen Loki, this is what it looks like. Smells like watermelon, and took a little bit of that for video that I think is going to come up this weekend. So those are the detailing car side of the channel, the garage updates that I'm having planned. There may be some other things with the garage too that might come up over time, but those are the big ones. I can talk about all the upgrades I've done so far, I think at some point, because I've got I think a pretty decent garage door opener in there. We've got some lighting from Amazon that's, for just 2 bulbs is pretty amazing, the amount of light that it puts out. But got some other ideas for the garage for sure. It's a place that I do spend some time. It's kind of fun. There's 2 other things that I haven't reviewed on the channel yet. One of them's right here. These are a little different than you might expect from my channel. And one of them is this light here. This is the SynPure light, the CX100. And I use this to light a lot of stuff in here specifically, but I've also lit other videos with it. And there's a lot of, it's a video light. So I'm curious if people would be interested in something like this on the channel. I'm going to review it no matter what, but what questions you might have about something like this. You can change colors, temperature, that kind of stuff. It's pretty nifty light for being able to light different scenes, and you can get quite bright. It's a 100-watt bulb, but it can dim down quite a bit, and there are different ways to use this to light scenes. So I'm curious if people would be really interested in more of those types of things too, for lighting videos. If you have a YouTube channel, that kind of thing. So let's stick this back over here out of the way. Here we go. So that's something else that I'm planning on putting on the channel here at some point. And then I was talking with my friend Brian about this one. He was actually pretty interested in this, so I'm curious if this audience is interested in it as well. And that is, it applies to every single person that has the internet. So if you're watching this video, it applies to you. And that is, in my day job, I'm a product manager at Western Governors University for the bachelor's and master's in IT. I've done a lot of work in IT organizations, educational technology, that kind of thing. So I'm really interested in technology in general. But one thing I think that most people don't do is they don't set their network up to be very secure. Most people don't even know what to do there. And so I was thinking about doing some videos on basic, like the absolute minimum you should do if you get a new router, or you're setting up your home network or your business network and you're just a small business, doing everything yourself. Some things you can do to make sure that your information is secure, as secure as it can be, that kind of thing. I'm actually going to be putting in a new system at my house here. I haven't upgraded my router for 6 years, something like that, I think it's been. And I've used some of basically I've been using products from this company or their subsidiary companies for a long time now. And this is a company called Ubiquity. It's out of Canada, if I remember correctly. So I'm going to be installing the Dream Router 7. I don't know how well it shows up on there, but I'm going to be installing that probably this weekend, along with a switch and an access point. But I wanted to kind of go over like just some basic things that everybody should do. It doesn't matter if you're a networking nerd or not, and how to set that up. And then how you might do that with the Ubiquity equipment, which I think is really good and reasonably priced as well. Like it does a fantastic job of covering your house and Wi-Fi, but gives you a lot of security options. And you can also do like full surveillance network and stuff where they have like everything you could want, but it's again reasonably priced and it is enterprise grade technology. So it's kind of interesting. So let me know if you're interested in seeing videos like that on the channel. I'll try them out. We'll see what happens. It's sort of like extra videos that are kind of outside the normal niche of what I would do, but I think it's just information people should know in terms of making sure that your networks are secure at home or for your business, that kind of thing. That was a lot in a little bit of time, I think. Again, let me know if you have questions about drones, if you have questions about detailing products, that kind of thing, or if you've had other questions on the channel. I've had some questions on the TMAT system, so I'm going to be doing some update videos on TMAT, try to show how I installed it, how it works in my vehicle, how to clean it and keep it clean, some of the versatility with the different configurations and what you can get in there. So I want to show some more of that for people. Again, the TMAT's one of my favorite products, I think. We'll be having some new products from the DVOS Outdoor and the Light Range, like the Light Ranger adjacent products that are coming out. Some new things coming from them as well in the next month or so. So I'm kind of excited about that. So again, one of my favorite lighting companies and something you can use pretty much anywhere. Where that light I showed you a little bit ago, that's really just for lighting videos and things like that. You're not going to take it camping, but the DVOS ones you can take anywhere and use anywhere. So I like those a ton. All right, so that's what I have for today. That's kind of the information I've got at the moment. I'm also curious if you like these style of videos where I might throw up some clips and talk about things that way. Like if I was going to review my Kia Sportage, would this be the way to do it? Talk about it and be able to answer questions live, or do you prefer the sort of more professionally done videos that I put up on my channel normally? Let me know in those comments below. If you found this video at all helpful, please do hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that before. Again, I'm trying some new things this year. There's going to be a number of different people coming on for interviews throughout the year, which I'm excited about. And yeah, I appreciate you all sticking with me. The 7 people that are on right now, that's more than I was maybe expecting for the first time out. So I really appreciate that a lot. And leave those comments so that I can create the content that you're looking for as well and keep sharing my experiences as I move along. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, live your life in beta, and